10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, and welcome to Dax Chats. In this episode, I'm getting to speak to a real nomad. Yep, she travels around in a bus with her roadie from place to place all over the countryside. She will welcome you with open arms, and she's just had a brand new single earlier this year in the midst of a pandemic, and she had a sneaky little secret. I tell you what, she drives her roadie crazy, and that's fair enough. Her name is Gayle O'Neil, and today Dax chats with Gayle O'Neil. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody.
Hello. So tell us, look, it's got to be hard for you because you are this nomad that just travels the countryside in a bus and tours all over the place. You're never ending work. And, this pandemic's sort of shut you down.
It did. Yeah, it shut
Yeah.
us down completely. So
Mm,
we've lived on the road for 4 years now. It took me a
mm,
long time to convince my roadie that he needed to become a roadie and hit the road with me. Um,
mm,
but so once I actually did that, which that took me 2 years, so there was a lot of work involved there. Um,
mm,
But once we hit the road, 4 years have just been wonderful, absolutely amazing. We're meeting the
mm,
most incredible people, and we're welcomed into everyone's home and hearts with open arms, which is why I wrote this song when we first hit
mm,
the road.
mm,
So,
mm. So your career has spanned since 2008. I believe it was the Central Coast Country Music Association. You had a walk-on thing, and then you got to work with some of the greatest people in the industry, like Duncan Toombs.
yes, I love Duncan. I love him.
Mm,
Those guys were just amazing. Um, and the way that it was set up, we'd have guest artists come all the time, and you just, to have Casey Chambers sitting there and rocking out to a little song I wrote called "Welcome to the Neighborhood," that was a bit
mm,
cool. So I got to meet all those wonderful people, and
mm,
they did. They sort of taught me what to do, and I went to release the song, and Duncan said, "No, no, that's not good enough quality. You need to go and do that again." So I'm
mm,
like, okay. So he sort of set my standard fairly high, and which I'm
mm,
very grateful for. And so
mm.
every time I do something now, whether it be a music video or a single, I've got that in the back of my mind that, no half and half, do it properly or don't do it at all.
Well, that's true. I mean, I run a radio station as well as doing these Dax chats, and it's amazing how many submissions I get every week where you just think you're just not there yet. Like there's so much you have to do to be radio ready, and there's so many people that just think that any radio station will put them on, and maybe that's so for some community radio stations, but for me, I'm definitely looking for that quality and that next step, and you've certainly got it with Michael Carpenter.
Oh, haven't I ever? Oh my
Mm,
lord, that was a match made in heaven. Um,
mm,
don't get me wrong, my roadie's the one, but
mm,
Michael Carpenter. When I first met him, we were both up for an Independent Country Music Award,
mm,
and we met, and it was just the warmth from him. He's just wonderful, and so when I first went to him and with open arms, and
mm,
he's like, "So do you want this or this?" And we went,
mm.
"Well, we're thinking this," and he went, "Righto, awesome." And then next thing, I've got this song on the way home. It was like my Dave and I just looked at each other and we go, "He's amazing."
Oh yeah.
And He is.
Yep.
He's wonderful.
And so many people that have worked with him say he's a gem that hasn't been recognized. Like, I spoke to Cameron Daddo, of all people, a couple of weeks ago, and he had his stuff produced with Michael, and he was just saying the guy is just, he can do anything on a stringed instrument. He can play drums. He can get around keys. He can just do everything, and then he can do your video clips for you as well.
Yeah, he can. And in the midst of all that, somehow he has this ability to make you feel so relaxed, and it's like we're creating something together, but it's so relaxed and easy. He's so easy to work with. And that doesn't always happen. So yeah, no,
that's true.
Yeah. So no, once we did Open Arms with him, and he did the music video for that in 43-degree heat in the country, and it was mainly all outside. So he did a great job with that. And then we said, well, okay, we're definitely going with Michael Carpenter for Drive Him Crazy, and he's done it again. So we've already been talking for the next release. So yeah, look, he's amazing. He doesn't realize how good he is. All we can do is yell praises for Michael Carpenter to the rooftops.
Absolutely. Now, you had a bit of a sneaky thing when this new song came out that you were very, very quiet about. It took a long time for this to come out. Now, we all know now that it was Andrew Swift that was featured on your single Drive Him Crazy. I want to know, how did that take place? How did you get Andrew Swift to record on your track? Because he's now ABC Music God, like, how did that happen?
Well, unfortunately, there's a story behind it.
I know, that's what I want to hear.
My husband cringes every time. Okay, picture this. Here we were at the Golden Guitar Awards, and Brad Butcher had just won his first Golden Guitar. We love Brad Butcher, and he was wearing a hat. So I said to my husband, as soon as all this is finished, I'm going to get up and congratulate him because I think he's wonderful. So I'm 5'3". So everybody stood up. So I just followed the hat. I went straight to the hat and congratulated the man in the hat. Wrong hat.
Oh no. Wrong hat. Oh, that's brilliant.
And Dave, after it, he said to me, I could see what you were doing and I couldn't stop it. So I've gone up to Andrew Swift and I've said, congratulations. And I've looked at him thinking, it doesn't look much like Brad Butcher. And he's like, thank you. Why? What for? I went, oh, wrong hat. And he was so lovely about it. And then we went to the nominations of the Golden Guitar finalists for 2020. And Andrew Swift got another nod, and I went up and congratulated him. He was like, oh, thanks very much. And I said to him, I don't know whether you remember, but I regaled him with my story. He said, I do remember that. I said, but the next year you won 2 Golden Guitar Awards. And he went, yes, I did. I said, and here we are. You're up for your third. He's like, yeah. He said, you can stay in my corner any old time. So it was really funny how it all came about. I tend to watch what the universe tells me. And everywhere we went, I kept seeing Swift on the side of a boat, or Swift Street, or, that kind of thing. So when Michael, I was talking to Michael about the male vocal, and so we sent some feelers out to a few different male vocals, and we got some beautiful, beautiful male vocals back. But Andrew Swift's one was just cracking, and he did a gorgeous job, and yeah, I just loved it. And he's been so wonderful. He's just so down to earth, and he actually said to me that, I said, I can't believe that you're doing this for me. He said, somebody did this for me. And he said, I'm paying it forward. So, the man is amazing.
He has got a heart of gold. I have met him personally. He's just a beautiful bloke. It's a bit harder to get in touch with him now because he's a label artist now. So I used to be able to just chat to him on Facebook, and these days I find it a bit more difficult.
I was a bit surprised. During COVID, my roadie had worn out his 2 God-given hits, and needed two new ones. So he's in the hospital bed recovering from this horrific, operation. And the phone rings, and I said, "Excuse me, babe, I just got to take this. It's just Andrew Swift calling me." So it was a real surreal moment, having that. And Dave's just sitting there going, "Yeah, righto."
So the single's called Drive Him Crazy. You do drive him crazy, and I reckon you drive a lot of men crazy, actually. You're just a fantastic woman, such a hard worker. And it went to #1 on the iTunes charts. How awesome is that?
It did. I could not believe that. When we said to Michael Carpenter sent us this little message saying, "Congratulations, you have a hit single." And we're like, "Yeah, righto, where are we?" He's gone, #1, baby. You can't get any higher than that. This is peroxide, right?
It's not Real Blonde, really.
It used to be a long time ago.
Yes. So #1. So I like the quote that you have on your website. From a borrowed guitar at 8 years old to a #1 hit single. That is just awesome. What a journey that is.
It is. It's been a long one. But ever since I picked up that guitar when I was 6 years old, and we were having photos, and I picked up the guitar, everyone was meant to just sit there with this guitar and smile and look pretty, and I didn't. Out of all the kids, I didn't. I started playing it and trying to work out what to do with it, because I'd never picked up a guitar before. And so I got in trouble because I wasn't just sitting there posing. So from that moment that I got in trouble when I was 6, I have been nagging and harassing my mother for the next 2 years to let me have guitar lessons. So, when kids start something new, you don't just go and buy them something fresh. You go, well, let's just borrow it and see if this thing sticks. So we borrowed a guitar when I was 8 years old, and I didn't get my own till I was 14. So a long time on a borrowed guitar. And when I got my very own, which was a Riviera Hummingbird, and it was it was a steel string guitar. It was beautiful. And I still got it. I've gifted it to my little niece, who's very musical. So she often jumps on FaceTime with me and pulls out the guitar and starts just singing a song that she just made up right then.
Cool. I like that.
It's very cool. I love it.
So I guess, like COVID's really knocked you about. You haven't been able to do a lot of touring. I think, you are getting back into doing something now. And obviously Rhodey was on the mend while COVID was happening with the hip replacements. Good to see him doing some lively stuff on Facebook. He's doing some weird stuff.
Look, when I first fell in love with him, I didn't even see his face. All I heard was these one-liners being cracked from across the room, and I thought, who is that? That is just hilarious. So when I actually met him and shook his hand, I thought, oh, my Lord, that's my husband. Had no idea. And we're about to celebrate our 23rd wedding anniversary on the 5th of October.
Wow, how beautiful. Now, you said you've got something new coming. Do you have any secrets for us?
All I can tell you is that I've spoken to my producer, and we are working things out, and we will be seeing him soon.
Okay, seeing him soon. Right. No giveaways there, but that's fine. So I'm sure we'll talk again when the new single comes out. But what I want to know is, like, COVID's really killed the industry in a whole. I mean, it's not just you, it's every artist across the world has suffered immensely from this. And you being in a bus on the road, you basically had to pull the bus over to the side of the road and go, well, that's it.
That's it.
That's
we were
it.
in a free camp when that happened. We lived in a lot of free camps in little towns, and you put the money back into the community by buying at their stores and things. And we were in one of those free camps, and we got the Prime Minister saying you can't go anywhere, and then we got people saying, yeah, no, you've got to move. You can't stay here. We're closing these. So we were sort of stuck for a while. Thankfully, my husband has family in Yass, so we're still in the bus, and the wheels will roll again.
But you got the bus bogged. I remember that.
Dave didn't do that. That was not Dave. Dave was actually in hospital, and when the bus got moved, and I wouldn't have put it there. I actually said I don't think that's the right place for it, but it wasn't my house. I just went, thank you for moving the bus.
Yeah.
But it got bogged. It got really bogged.
It got really bogged. Yes. So I guess
we tried a truck. We tried two utes, and we finally got it out with not the first tractor, the second one.
Yeah. So I want to really know, what do you see coming? I mean, obviously all the festivals have gone. Tamworth, everybody looks forward to Tamworth. That's the start of the country music year in Australia. What do you see happening come 2021? How do you see it all unfolding for Gayle O'Neil?
Well, we've been talking about that. We've been trying to stay happy behind the scenes, which is really hard when you look forward to rolling into towns and bringing live shows and just having people having the best time and singing at the top of their lungs. But what we're going to do is we're going to go and stay out on 3,300 acres and do some writing for future. And then we're going to start packing everything up, and we're going to start rolling up into northwest, and just start going into those smaller country towns further out west, and trying to waiting for borders to open and just slowly start rolling again. Just little gigs here and there. The hardest part is that we're all huggers. We all love hugging, and especially if you have a great time. So when we're a bit nervous about doing another show after the last one. We did go live. We did do a live show, and everyone just loved us. But yeah, they were all wanting to hug me. And look, I'm a huggy person. I hug everyone. Yep. And it's so hard not to hug people when that's a natural thing to do. But I think the only thing that we can do is try and keep remembering what world we're living in now. There's going to be a lot of changes, and we've all got to try and work out a way that we're going to get through it, which is not easy. But I guess just hanging on to each other and keeping yourself safe, taking those precautions that we've all got to take, and let's try and get through this. Look, I think that the most important thing throughout all of the COVID has been radio and podcasts and all those kind of things like what you're doing. You're reaching out to people that can't go anywhere. So it's sort of like, throughout history, radio has always been that connection. And it's definitely been the biggest connection for us all through history. And I'm just really thankful that we've had it now.
And music is an essential service. There's not a person in life that hasn't had something to do with music, or it hasn't affected them in some way. That when they turned around and shut down all musicians, shut down all bars, and then they said only essential workers can go to work, and I'm like, well, music's essential. That's been essential in life for God knows how long, Well, so, kudos to you guys, to all the artists. including myself, who brought out a single this year,
Yes.
for for bringing out music in this, because it has been difficult. I mean, it was for me doing that song. It was because my father died in the middle of COVID, and I couldn't move from where I was, so I basically had to get the emotion out, and I just had to decompartmentalize, and so I wrote the song and threw it out there, and it was just like to get me out of a position I was in, because it was a hard thing to go through. Here we are, the whole world's gone crazy. This virus has swept the whole world. People can't leave their houses. You can only have 10 people at a funeral. You'd have to go into quarantine at Christmas Island. All of these things were taking place when my father passed away, and I was just like, how do you deal with that? So he ended up just being cremated and put in a hole in the wall. No funeral, no nothing. It was so hard to swallow, and
That would be
and so
horrific.
and so I just had to write that song to get it out of my system, and that's why I did what I did. I don't know what's coming next and how long it's going to take.
No. But it's comforting. Those kind of things they help others cope with things, and I think that's the beauty of musos, is that we bring these things so that people can understand what things going on in their own world. And the best part is that they'll realize that they're not alone. They've got other people going through these things, and as soon as you're not alone, it just somehow feels easier. So
Correct.
you've helped so many people by doing that. And I think that's all we can really do, is just keep being true to ourselves, keep bringing the music. And I don't think that anyone's ever seen a fundraiser without music.
Correct. Absolutely. And the Australian music industry is behind every fundraiser that has ever happened. If we've got bushfire fundraisers, we're there. We've got drought fundraisers, we're there. That's so true. That not a fundraiser has. I just saw a post of a fundraiser in Canada, because one of our musician mates in Canada had carpal tunnel and had to have both of his wrists operated on. So they did a fundraiser for him, and there was just musicians from all over Canada came to support him. So, and he's an independent artist, just like
And that's
you
what
and I.
musos do. And
Yep.
that's the beauty of it, especially independent artists.
That's community for you, and that's the way it should be. Look, Gayle, I wish you all the luck with whatever's going to happen in the end of this year, 2021. I know the bubble is opening up between Queensland and New South Wales, which is a good sign. It hasn't got down too far yet, but it's getting closer. I don't think Sydney will be in that bubble just yet, but Victoria's numbers are coming down, which is good to see. South Australia and Queensland have open borders with each other, which is good to see. So I think things are starting to come back, and I just hope that, I know there's going to be a difference in the way things happen, but I just hope that things start coming back to a certain normal very soon.
That would be very nice. We would love to just get back out there and keep making people happy. And you know it yourself. All we want to do is get out there and just see the smile on people's faces and see them.
Yeah.
That connection, and that's what it's about. It's a connection. I know a lot of people have done the live things, and that's wonderful. But I'm more of I like to see my people and hear them, and
I have a problem with the live thing, because it was like, basically COVID struck. There was no gigs, there was no nothing, nobody was getting paid, and so artists jumped on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or however they went on, or all three, to stay connected to their audience. But the problem was they were throwing out their content for nothing, and I think it wasn't until there's a couple that did paid events. I know Becky Cole did a paid event, and I also know that just recently Benny Allen did a paid event, and they were the only ones I'd actually heard of that just went, well, hold on, we're artists, we should be getting paid for what we do. And I think So I think moving forward, if Facebook shuts down live streaming and people have to go elsewhere, like YouTube and stuff like that, I think artists should be rethinking that and thinking, maybe we should be getting paid for what we do again.
Absolutely, absolutely. I didn't do a lot of lives. I was invited to a few different shows, which was wonderful. And the first show I did put on, I did put up my PayPal, and I was really surprised at how many people threw money my way. That was just amazing. But yeah, it's, you do live music because you want that connection with your people. You want to laugh together, cry together, dance together, sing together. It's all about the atmosphere, and that I miss that so much. That's what put me on the road. That's what took away the going to work every day, and let's just get out there and just do what deep down inside of you put on this earth to do. We're just got to work out how we can continue to do that.
Do that again.
Any ideas, let me know.
Well, once you can get across from New South Wales border into Queensland, I think you're pretty set. So if you can do some Queensland
shows. Self-isolating all the time, so we're just
yes,
the bus
that's right.
ourselves.
That's right.
So
you should be able to go. You should be able to go anywhere you want. Well, it's amazing when Matt Scullion went on his tour. He basically went across the Queensland border just before they shut it down again. So once they'd eased it up and opened borders, and then he went through, and then they shut it down again. It was like, wow. So I don't even know where he is now. He might be stuck somewhere, can't get back to New South Wales.
That wouldn't be a bad thing.
But that's the crazy thing. But that's the crazy thing about this whole situation, like I just read recently, Vanessa Bourne is stuck in the UK. Her home is in Phillip Island in Victoria, but she's stuck in the UK. She can't come home. I'm in China. I can't get home. There's no flights, that's the crazy thing about this. We're all, wherever we got stuck, that's where we are.
That's what I hope you like in China.
Yeah, I'm in China. That's right. I'm in China. I was here when it all started. It was crazy.
Yeah. No, it's look. We never thought we'd see something like this in our lifetime.
Absolutely,
we really
true.
Probably the only real big thing that we saw was the towers coming down, and that changed our world completely. So. I guess our grandparents and great-grandparents went through all these things. So, they could do it with less things than what we've got now, less creature comforts. So if they could do it, we just need to be big grown-up people and soldier on through like they did.
We are doing it. All right, love. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been great to speak to you. And I do hope that we'll speak again when something new comes.
You were. Thank you, Dax. Thank you for having me. Thank you to all of your listeners. I hope I haven't driven you crazy like I do my roadie. But I probably did.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Gayle O'Neil. And yes, her latest single is called Drive Him Crazy, which features Andrew Swift. It is available on all your major streaming platforms. Obviously, you can download it from iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, and all those things, or you can listen to it on the Country Thunder Network, and you can vote for it in the Country Thunder 20, which I know someone has done this week. How's that? So get those votes in and get her onto our Country Thunder 20 charts, because that's the only way we can get songs into high rotation. Until next time, this is DJ Dax for Dax Chats, which are proudly supported by Neon Horse in Stanhope, Victoria. Bye for now.